gospel today is found in Matthew 17. Jesus took with him Peter and James and his brother John and led them up a high mountain. And he was transfigured before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his clothes became dazzling white. Suddenly there appeared to them Moses and Elijah talking with him. Then Peter said to Jesus, "Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I will make 3 dwellings, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." While he was still speaking, suddenly a bright cloud overshadowed them. And from the cloud a voice said, "This is my Son, the Beloved. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." And when the disciples heard this, they fell to the ground and were overcome with fear. But Jesus came and touched them, saying, "Get up. Do not be afraid." And when they looked up, they saw Jesus himself standing alone. And as they were coming down from the mountain, Jesus ordered them, "Tell no one about the vision until after the Son of Man has been raised from the dead." The Gospel of our Lord. Let us pray. Holy God, you have indeed made yourself known to us through your word, through Jesus on this earth. Make yourself known to us again in all that we live this day, through these words and through your word. In your name we pray. Amen. Can you imagine it? Being invited to go for a full day walk with Jesus up the summit. I think the disciples were pretty special. 3 of them. I'm not sure if they were chosen to go or if they were just with Jesus on that day, but they got to be the ones. Wouldn't that be a cool day? I'd be in. And then, all of a sudden, at the top of the summit, things got out of control. The weather shifted, the cloud rolled in, and a voice boomed out of the sky. And they found themselves down on the ground, terrified. It was out of control. We don't like being out of control. I remember a few years back the winds that came through Camrose during the Jamboree. The stillness that happened in the sky. And I can remember being in our backyard, and I can remember this big cloud coming over top. You probably remember that day if you were here. And I can remember thinking to myself, this is not good. I grabbed both our kids and our neighbor's boy who was playing with us, and we hid for the basement. Dale and I one day were in a tent out at Miquelon Lake. And you know how it can be near the waters out at Miquelon. And we were quite comfortably resting when all of a sudden a wind just came up and the tent just started flapping. And it was no small wind. And it felt very out of control, and we were afraid that we were going to be lifted right up in the wind. Sometimes when we're out at Hastings Lake Bible Camp, I think some of you might have experienced this. The sky starts to get that funny color in it, and the clouds roll in. And you wonder, I have, Is a tornado coming, and where would we hide if it came? What if a voice came out of the sky? What would we do? The disciples went to the ground. They were terrified. I tend to struggle with fear, with being out of control. I think it's a pretty common experience for us as human beings, and we all react to it differently. When Keisha was in Quebec, I found it difficult to trust that she would get home to us safely. And sometimes the fear just overcame my whole self, and I was frozen. Fear paralyzes us. It causes us to feel helpless. It's unpredictable. What do you do when you're afraid? Do you run? Do you freeze? It lands in our body, doesn't it? And it's kind of hard to get a grip on. Our land is a bit threatened right now. And we feel afraid. The weather is wonky. Things are happening that we wouldn't normally see happen in our environment. And there's unrest in the countries. And our country next door to us, well, they're off the rails. And it's a little too close for comfort. Some of us are more afraid than others, but we do have this pending sense that our safety is in danger. It's a little too close for comfort. When our children were in Quebec, they were 5 minutes from the mosque that was being shot up. We held our breath till they landed back in Edmonton. The disciples were invited into the light, invited to the summit, into the inner circle of God's love, and they became afraid. And they found themselves huddled on the ground, just like we do sometimes. We are also invited to the summit. And it's not an exclusive invitation. It's an invitation to all of us. We're invited into the light of God's love. We're invited into God's fullness, into all He wants for us. And He says, come up to the top of the mountain and see the light. See who I am. Trust me. But we become afraid. It's unpredictable. It feels out of control. We'd like to say, Lord, your will be done. But when we say it, we're pretty afraid of what that might mean. So sometimes we say to Jesus instead, take him up the mountain and I'll stay at the bottom and wait for you. It's hard to trust the ascent into the light. Jesus touched the disciples when they became afraid. He touched each one of them. And I think it's important to know He touched them because fear is found in our body. And He woke them up from their fear and He said, get up, stand up, move. And He does the same for you and for me when we get paralyzed in the things that make us afraid. John 14:27 is one of my favorite verses. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, nor let it be afraid. And He says to us, I don't know what it is you're all living, but He says to us, I'm here with you. I'm here with you in what's unpredictable. I'm here with you in what's paralyzing you. I'm here with you in what's so hard that you're frozen in fear. And he says, when you go home to an empty house after someone has passed away, I'm there. And when you walk out of your job after you've lost it, he says, I'm there. When you can't pay the next bill, he says, I'm here. And when your health is failing, and you don't know what tomorrow looks like, he says, I'm here. Get up. And he touches us, each one. Stand up. Because the only person who is really dependable in this crazy world is Jesus. And nobody can take that from us. The peace that is within our souls, that is within us, is not touchable by stuff that's happening around us. We think it is, but it's not. This world is unpredictable, but Jesus is here. And that's our solid rock. That's who we stand on. Not on what looks like it's not working around us. Not because the government next door is going off the rails. We are loved and we're held. And we're safe. We're actually safe because they can't take Jesus from us. Ever. And we're comforted because we have an inner world of peace that actually doesn't make sense. It passes understanding if we look to Jesus. And we know love in our inner being. This is good news in our world. This is huge. And as we know this love, we are transformed. Transfigured, as you would. Transformed. And it doesn't kill us, actually, because it's about love. We are held in the light. It doesn't have to terrify us. We're held in the light. And we see Jesus with us here. So we are invited. We're invited to the summit, to the very top of the mountain, to let the light of love touch us. We're called to look to Jesus alone for our security and our safety and our peace. And when we do, he's always, always, always there for us. And Jesus comes to us in our fear like he did on the mountain, and he touches each one of us and he says, stand up, get up, do not be afraid. And when we look up, we see Jesus standing there with us. Jesus. And his light is shining. And his love is there. And he is with us.